Rainbows. So last week Corsair had an excellent sale on their K70 mechanical keyboard. This is the K70 RGB, not the newest model, but the K70 RGB. This is going to be my official review of the refurbished K70 RGB from Corsair. So, to start off with, this is actually a really pretty keyboard. Beyond the rainbow effect, which is currently set to be the rainbow pinwheel, but which has a ton of other settings. And it's actually, let me turn off my light so you guys can see how bright and good this looks. This is what it looks like in the dark. It's really bright. So, beyond the fact that it can make rainbows, which really is a good enough reason to buy any keyboard, it has a few features that I really like that I've gotten to know pretty well recently. So the first one is we have a quick off button right here. And that'll turn off our LED lights. And I'll set them to low, medium, and high. We have a button for turning off the Windows key. Super useful. So right now the Windows key is off. So if I press the Windows key right here, focus, nothing happens on my PC, which is awesome. And if I turn it on, press the Windows key, something will happen, and it will bring up the Windows menu. There's a couple more cool things up here. I've never had a PC that I like the media controls on. Usually they're gawky and terrible. This one comes with a very simple up and down scroll wheel and a mute button. If it's muted, normally it would be lit up, but I have it on rainbows, so it doesn't light up. And then 4 buttons just right here. So far, I'm a big fan. This is the Browns, Cherry MX Browns. It does come in all of the standard Cherry switches. This is the Browns, so if you want to hear clicky, a little bit clicky, but not super clicky. The full 10-key keyboard with the numpad, but not the gaming numbers off to the side. I don't like the numbers on the side to have extra. I previously had a Razer keyboard, and that had this off to the side extras. It also had a lot of things that this keyboard doesn't have. There are no USB pass-throughs on this keyboard. There is no headphone jack on this keyboard. It's just a keyboard, and that's reflected by the price. The Razer keyboard is indeed more expensive. This one costs a little bit less, and so it doesn't have those USB pass-throughs and doesn't have that headphone jack on the side. It does have rainbows, though. It also means it requires a little bit less in terms of cabling. It requires only 2 USB cables. It does come with a braided cable, just like the Razer keyboard does. It does require 2 USB ports. It's compatible with USB 3.0. The only accessory that this model, which is a refurb, came with is this right here, which is just a wrist rest for it. Otherwise, it came just naked in the box by itself. So far, I'm really liking it. I switched from Razer's mechanical switches to these Browns, Cherry MX Browns. I like the Browns. One thing that I really like about this keyboard is that the deck kind of is low behind, like you can see underneath here. On the Razer keyboard, the keys are all flush with the deck, and here there's extra space, and this deck is made of a really nice brushed aluminum, which now is clean, but I'm sure in the near future will be very dusty and dirty. And it's made of a really nice brushed aluminum. However, it doesn't reflect the RGB LEDs as well as I wish it did. A lot of people will change out these keycaps because they're just standard brown, so you can change out the keycaps. But a lot of people will change out the keycaps for something that is a little bit more transparent. Because as you can see, it shows in between the keycaps, but it's just not as prominent as it would show if you were dealing with, like the Razer has a white backboard, so you kind of see that green glow coming through. But you can solve that by putting on keycaps that are a little bit more transparent, and some people will put on just completely see-through keycaps. So far, I'm loving this board. Haven't had any issues yet. I mean, I've only had it for like 4 days. So if there were any issues, that would be a serious problem to get to know. I don't have any major complaints for it yet. I think it's a solid board for the price, and I think that anybody who's looking for an RGB mechanical keyboard that wants something that's a little bit better than the no-name Chinese boards that are out there, and that wants to have an easy-to-use app to map keys one-to-one and everything, this is a good choice for you. If you're looking for something that's just purely cheap, I would recommend one of the Ducky keyboards or one of the other Chinese boards, and that's going to be a little cheaper, and it's still going to have the RGB LEDs, and you're just not going to get that quality that you get out of one of these boards, or longevity. Now, mine came, because it's a refurb, came without warranty or anything else, so if it breaks, it's broken, it's done. But, I mean, I got that. That's what I get for the price that I got, so Thanks very much, guys. Keep it tuned to Kitsuga.com for lots more hardware reviews.